this is Geodude coming to you with another tutorial, and this time it's going to be against Aganos. And I had a lot of people ask me, well, how do you get the chunks off, or how can you get the chunks off without getting hit and all that stuff? Well, pretty much, personally, I have a lot of fun with this matchup because of the fact that, you know, I get to go ham on them, a lot of pressure strings and all of that. And that's the key to beating this character, is by get him in those positions where you can just have him turtling the whole entire time while you're applying a whole bunch of pressure and mix-ups. So what we're going to talk about first is the moves necessary to get rid of chunks, what could happen when you use said moves. We're also going to talk about how you approach this matchup, what moves and things you need to use when he doesn't have any chunks, how to strip him of chunks, and how to stop his shadow moves and certain moves like that. So without further ado, let's get started. So pretty much he is fully chunked right now, guys. He's fully chunked. So the way you do this, in my personal opinion, or actually from experience, is using the rake is a good way to do things, because a lot of the time when you try to attack an Aganos, many a time they'll try to grab you in anticipation of a grab from you. So what you want to do is try to do like that and get away. Slowly strip off the chunks that way, because it will give you more options. And if you think he's gonna hit, or even if it's just like he has one chunk like this, you can easily go for a cross up there. Alright, there we go, we're all chunked up again. So yeah, you can easily go to the back of him with that. So if he has one, let him get a false sense of security and go for the cross up. If not, you can always go for a single one, run up, and go for a grab. And that's the key here. When he has chunks, you want to strip it away by doing moves that are away, so you won't get countered by his uppercut or his Superman punch, because a lot of good Aganoses will do that. So keep that in mind. So another way you can actually get rid of chunks is by setting up Flame Carpet and doing your jumping heavy punch. Those are very, very good to use here, because right now, as you can see, if he's like that, doing that, he gets automatically 3 chunks off. And a lot of the time, if they do a move, they're stuck in animation until those 3 moves hit. Like say he goes for an uppercut and you do jumping heavy punch, he stays in animation, so you're guaranteed those 3 chunks coming off. But be wary, because sometimes when you come down after that, and you say you try to jump again, Aganos will use his flick, and I believe that's his light punch, and the upper light punch to actually knock you out of the air and start something up, or even grab a chunk. So be careful not to abuse it too much. Only use it when you need to, or when you desperately need to get those chunks off. So keep that in mind, guys. Now another thing, since the last patch, Flame Carpet does not take off his chunks on block, which yes, I did not rely on this method because of the fact that it was glitchy, not something you want to rely on. But it still has a use. So if you were to go for a grab setup like this, and then set up Flame Carpet, if they try to counterattack against you, all those chunks will come off, and they'll stay in animation. It'll give you enough time to do something around that. Or if they do block, you can still set up that and go into this, or wait for a block and go into the grab. So there's plenty of things you can do to set that up. I say set up as much as you can when he has chunks, because a lot of the time, if they do not block, they may go for a EX Superman punch, and grab actually stops that. Your grab will actually knock him out of Superman punch, so that will be a good alternative to use. Let's go and get chunked back.
Here's a good example of me and Zerg fighting at a tournament recently. You see how I'm using heavy rake in the flame right there? It gets me out of the way and takes off a chunk if they don't block. Also fake for the grabs using jumping heavy punch to rip off chunks, and if it doesn't, you can always go for the grab. Try to fake for the grab a lot, because it'll open up Aganos for a hit. And if they start to turtle, be prepared to use your mix-ups and overheads in order to get him out.
Alright guys, now let's talk about that high-low mix-ups. So, we've already discussed this. So you're fighting Aganos, right? So you take off his armor. Take off his armor with all those steps and everything. So now you have a Aganos that will be very, very defensive at this point. And pretty much he's free to kick his ass all over the place. So what you want to do is mix up your high lows. And a lot of the time you're gonna end up trying to go like this. If you do, when you come down, go straight for the low. Whether it be a low light or a low medium. Any of them will work out. I prefer the low medium. Like that. Catch him not guarding his Jordans. And there you go. And also, if you come down for that, say he is guarding low, he doesn't want to get hit at the Jordans, well, go for that grab. You know, and if you grab text, either go for an escaping tail, or you can go for a crouching tail. One thing I love to do against Aganos who do crouch block all day. Let's see, all block, there we go. What I like to do against them all day is I'll get him in that, I'll go for the grab right there, or I'll go for this. Or sometimes I'll even go for that. If they're crouching the whole time, afraid of this, or this, I will go for a light tail flip overhead, just to stop him from doing that. But yeah, even though, once you get an Aganos teching grabs, that's fresh meat to either go like this, he goes for the grab, jump again, and get him with the jumping heavy punch, or go like that, back up, and go for the tail. And that's another way to check to see if they're guarding their Jordans. Pretty much throw that in there sometimes. A lot of the time they will try to go for their windmill move, where they're swinging their hands like a helicopter propeller. I'm not sure what the name of it's called. And that also will stop it, the shadow version of this move as well. And I actually will show you guys. The crouching medium punch and crouching heavy kick will actually stop this move. And grabbing him will stop this move. It will also stop this move as well. So it's okay for him to take the grab if you condition him to do so. When you come down, go for the low or go for a meaty move and start up your combo. So let's see this here. I'm gonna put the meter on infinite real quick. There we go. Alright. So pretty much yes, this is what you want to do. Use the tail, go low for moves, and if he's crouching, don't hesitate to go over like that to catch him with that as well. Just keep your moves high-low and you'll be alright when it comes to him blocking. Especially when he's crouching, you won't have no problem tail flipping over him. Or if you want, you can either go like that. Although it's easy to see, but it's still pretty useful, just in case an Aganos is guarding too much. So keep that in mind, guys.
Here's another example of grabbing Aganos out of shadow moves. Most of his shadow moves can be grabbed out of, so don't be afraid to use grab whenever you see shadow like that. And then continue up your pressure. Now moving on.
Guys, now let's talk about Aganos' instinct. Aganos' instinct can be a real pain, especially if you end up being full screen away. So what's going to happen here is this. Alright. So he's an instinct now. What they normally like to do in instinct is to throw that, and if they're still, it actually recovers faster. So they'll keep on going like this over and over and over again. So what you want to do here is you want to actually slowly progress and take your time. Take your time getting over there. Because if you don't, So off of that, you can actually get closer that way. But if you don't, you're gonna end up getting hit back for anything you do, especially when you start trying to run in. Or he'll even do a Superman punch and knock you out of the, knock you in the air. So be careful about that. Slowly get closer to him, or wait until his instinct runs out. And that's the best thing you can actually do at this point. So, that being said, use light rake or run cancel towards him in order to close the distance. Just be careful of Superman punch and his other moves like that. And his chunks also, if he has any, be careful of that as well. Now we're also going to talk about one shadow move as well, which is this guy. We're going to talk about that one right there. So, you know he's about to use that when he's full screen away. And if you stay still, you're going to have to eat block stun and all that while he gathers up chunks. So, best thing to do, in my opinion, when he does that, I say wait for the grab, delay the grab a little bit so you won't get so much caught in that. Or what you can do is go for something like a little move, like that, and then go like that. So you won't have to eat so many of those rocks. You want to try to have enough time out as you possibly can, so that way you won't have to be stuck there for a long time. Or you can even do that, but it's kind of risky because at the end of that you will end up getting hit by rocks. So keep that in mind. You want to try to get some grabs off whenever that happens. And if he doesn't have any chunks, you don't really have much to really worry about, because at that point you can just stop it right there, just like that. So just don't hesitate to hit him out of it.
Alright guys, here's a good setup here. After you've done the jumping heavy punch, you can go straight into standing heavy kick, but not in a combo, but as a manual. And it'll stop all of his shadow moves. And a lot of Aganos players will actually try to eke in a shadow move or maybe even a light punch in between that transition there, thinking that they can hit you, but that meaty close tail will actually stop all that. But grabs can still get through, so condition your Aganos opponent to not grab tech, and after that, even if he blocks, you can go straight into your headbutt pressure and it's sealed for you. But this is Yoko Zero. I have another tutorial. I'll give y'all the next one upcoming soon. Thank you for all your support. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.